Hey y'all, real quick, I want to talk about intuition, and I want to talk about how you can strengthen your intuition, especially if you're a very intuitive person, okay? Or especially you're intuitive, but you don't really trust your intuition. I'm about to tell you something. When you are intuitive and when you first get into this journey, right? You will automatically feel things, right? Like you feel like you're picking up on things, and then once you find out later, like, oh, like what I was picking up was right. Like it was like a disturbance there, like it was like something that was distorted there, right? So when you continue in your intuitive path or your intuitive gifts, a lot of times people will second guess their intuition because you don't have proof. And I'm here to tell you that is not something that you're supposed to do, especially if you are intuitive, because everybody does not have that particular gift. Okay, everybody doesn't have the gift of intuition. So if you are a very intuitive person, 8 times out of 10, you don't need any proof, right? Because your intuition is going to tell you something is wrong. Now, you may not know exactly what's wrong, but how your intuition is set up, you're going to get an alarm. You're going to get a download. You're going to get a signal to say, hey, wait a minute, something's different. Something's off right here, right? Let me revert that back to myself. Now, I have been very intuitive since a child, okay? I have been very intuitive. And it seems like the older that I got, my intuition grew, right? So, but in the meantime, my intuition is growing. I then start doubting my intuition because I don't have any physical proof, right? So by me not having any physical proof, I'm disregarding the messages. I began to disregard the signals that I was receiving to tell me, wait a minute, something is off. Something ain't right here. Like you need to pay attention. And I need to tell y'all, when you are using intuition, forget about the proof. Okay? If you are coming from a clear mental, clear emotional, okay, clear mind, clear thoughts, clear heart space. Now you can't do this, you're distorted. You cannot do this if you all over the fucking place, okay? You cannot do this if you're going through something emotionally. You have an emotional turmoil because your emotions and your mind and your heart be racing everywhere. You don't have the peace and the groundedness to combat what you are feeling intuitive and what's happening in real life. Okay? This is only if you are a stable mind and body and soul being. Okay? So once you are in the stable mind and body and soul being, okay, and you feel something is off, you need to pay attention to what that is. Do not disregard that. Do not disregard that for proof, because what happens is a lot of times when you are intuitive, God protects you from certain things. Okay? Because if you was actually able to see what was going on in real time, if you was actually able to hear the shit motherfuckers talk about you behind your back, if you was actually able to witness the actions that people were doing against you, you will be fucking devastated. You will be devastated. That's the reason why a lot of times they don't show up in real time. It's for your protection. They don't show up in this physical realm because if you're from your protection. So if you're a person that's coming from an authentic, genuine place, that's why I always say, you living in your authenticity, no matter what it is, you living in your authenticity and your genuine sense of self is a big key of living life in this world, in this realm, because you can decipher more clearly when you're coming from an authentic place. If someone is able to pull you here, someone's able to pull you here, they're able to whisper this in your ear, they're ready to get this in your hand, and then you're like, okay, yeah, I got it, okay, I get it, and I get it, and I got it. You're not actually being genuine to yourself. You're not actually being genuine to your truest sense of self. So once you are actually genuine in your true sense of self, you have the ability to be grounded. And once you're grounded, you can see where the energetic disruption is coming from. Because you don't already checked your boxes. I feel this way. I'm authentic. I'm genuine. I am real. I feel this way. Okay? This container is filled up with this emotion. But when I go and check the next container, this next container is something off at this container. This next emotions, this next actions, these person's actions, these person's emotions, these person how they're, thinking or talking or acting is off. Pay attention to that. 9 times out of 10, you do not need no proof. Because I said this because there have been times where, I think about something and I might be wrong about it and I just let it go. But if something is innately, like in my soul, in my spirit, just innately, and I don't have any proof, I could find out a couple of years later. I could find out a year later, whatever it is. Whatever it is that I have felt an innate, like a deep sense of something ain't right. 9 times out of 10, that shit was not right. So when you're intuitive and you're just getting into this intuitive journey, or you're trying to get into your spiritual gifts more and understand, you have to be clear in your mind. You got to be clear in your soul. You got to be clear in your spirit. Okay? You got to be clear in your heart. Without those things, you will not be able to discern what's going on around you. Okay? So if you are in those spaces and something is off, something's off. Okay? Don't disregard that. Y'all have a good one.